Hey, I think we back, Connor. I think we're back in the
Well,
house, back in the building, back with all of our wonderful friends, the people that both love us and people that watch that don't like us. You welcome too. So welcome everybody. This is once again is a podcast divided. We had a couple of big wins this last weekend. Michigan, like I predicted, I forgot to attach the video recording, but I predicted back in August that Michigan State would go into Miami and beat them. And they not only beat them, they pulverized them.
understatement, yeah. Fourth quarter wore them out in the
Which,
Miami Heat.
which is crazy. Like y'all lived like most of Miami roster. Y'all are from South Florida. Y'all grew up in this weather.
You should be able to handle that against
Yeah.
a team from some darn Yankees from the north.
Darn yeah. Oh yeah, man. I
I
know.
I read something that said the GPS trackers that were on the Michigan State players, they wear whatever GPS to keep track of their, I don't know, their conditioning throughout the game. Apparently, they were playing faster in the fourth quarter than they were in the first.
That the strength and conditioning staff, the nutrition staff
better.
deserve a raise.
Yep.
Like everybody gets steak dinners. That needs to be a thing. So honestly, it was an impressive show. It was just really an impressive showing to be able to go in there, go down to South Florida, take care of them boys. And of course, the debating is raged on. Michigan and Michigan State are both 3-0, and really handled their biggest, or I'll just say most marquee non-conference opponent, handled them, the mess out of them, and just sent them to the oblivion. So it's a really great non-conference season for both teams. You can question if you're a Michigan fan, you can question Michigan State's strength of schedule. You can question how good Northwestern is. You can question Youngstown State being on the schedule. You can question how good Miami's going to be. But if you're a good team, you play who's on your schedule, and you take care of who's on your schedule, and you beat who's on your schedule. Michigan and Michigan State both did what good teams are supposed to do to those opponents. But I think at the same time, you can take it with a grain of salt and realize, hey, Washington's not a world beater this year. We know that. They even though I saw an article that someone wrote that they're still a contender.
Of course they are. They haven't played a Pac-12 game.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to consider the Pac. That would be funny if they were in the Rose Bowl, but I doubt it. I still think UCLA, even though they got shocked by Fresno State, I still think they're better. And of course Miami. Miami, I was honestly, of course I got beef at Manny Diaz because back when I was going to college in Mississippi, I had players that played for Mississippi State when he was the DC, and I wish I could give him a handshake, and he spurned me. This is back in 2010, and I've been salting him ever since. So it felt good to watch him get beat down. But I was very confounded by Miami's defensive strategy because it's like they run another screen, they run another draw, they run another screen, they run another draw. It's like, guys, you realize they want you to bum rush the quarterback. Yeah. They want you to run there blowing all your snot bubbles with reckless abandon. You realize they want you to do that. And they kept, it's like Lucy with the football. It's like you kept falling for it. But I credit Jay Johnson for continuing to make the calls and preying on their aggression.
The second half play calling was unreal. Like that's something that Michigan State fans haven't seen in, I don't know, 8 years, where they actually have an adjustment at halftime and come out and not looking the exact same as they did in the first half. And I know there were a lot of plays in the first half that were like, what are we doing? Runs up the middle when they're not working 2 or 3 straight times and losing yards on first down. It's just like State was in second and long way too much in the first half. Jay Johnson must have seen that, obviously, and made the perfect play calls in the second half. They scored 20 Was it 28 unanswered in the second half?
Yeah, something like that.
No, it was something. They scored 28 points in the second half, and Johnson deserves a ton of credit for it.
Yeah, because like I said, Miami had their opportunities to really put Michigan State in some distressing situations, being at home. But yeah, I mean, you did what you were supposed to do. It's a great win, and if you're a Spartan fan, you should feel good about yourself.
Yeah,
you should feel good about yourself. It's okay. I made a tweet on I forgot to post a tweet, but I made a tweet on Saturday night that I put Miami and Washington in the same category as teams, but I was not saying that Michigan had a better win with Washington over a road team. I was like, y'all, that's stupid. I wouldn't say that. I absolutely would not say that. I mean, a road win over a Power 5 team with a number by their name is better than a home win with a team that wasn't. So
there's a good chance both of these teams don't make a bowl game. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, there's a chance, but like we know nothing. I mean, they might go through and dominate the ACC because the ACC is terrible.
Exactly.
Washington might go through and dominate the Pac-12 because the Pac-12 is terrible. We have no idea. I get that. Like both Washington and Miami looked pretty. I wouldn't say terrible, but they didn't look like the team that we expected at the beginning of the year from either of them.
Of course not.
But that could also be attributed to both Michigan and Michigan State being better than we thought they were. So
absolutely,
it could be a combination of the two, and people don't like to give credit to other teams.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Yeah, and that's why I say take it with a grain of salt. But I won't name any names. But you know what I'm saying. I'll just say Star Wars. I won't name any names, but some people just take it out of context, man. I just like y'all. It's like y'all want me to. Y'all want to just spend some. I can't believe you're being unbiased. No, I'm just saying we all need to just.
I think you get caught. I think you get caught in the crossfire sometime because people and Michigan's fan base. I've seen this multiple times this past week.
Of course,
they were saying that. Oh well, Western Michigan could probably beat Miami. Like that win wasn't just shut up.
Yeah,
just shut up. Western Michigan beat a bad Pitt team. Just shut up.
Yeah.
They're really going around like touting that Western Michigan win is the best win out of either team. It's just shut up.
And the crazy thing is the crazy part about that is that bad Pitt team went down to Tennessee and beat them. I mean, wow. That's all I got to say is wow.
That shows how bad Tennessee is.
That's true. And they've been bad. They've been bad since Fulmer, like 15, 20 years ago.
They've been bad for a while.
Which is crazy. I mean, I'm going off subject, but they have everything Knoxville's a beautiful city. They got a beautiful stadium, beautiful setup, crazy fan base. Why wouldn't anyone want to play there? And you're that bad. That's shocking to me, honestly. But anywho, we have some questions. Okay. Connor's the better host. I agree. This wouldn't be a show without Connor. Yep. When are we going to have a hot dog eating competition? I would do it, but I'm working on my weight, so I can't, answer me. I didn't dodge you, as you see. I didn't dodge you. I got your answer. Let's go. All right. MSU, CJR, 1998, outcoached Miami at every level in the second half. Yes. Very true, CVR. Thank you for your input. It was a clinic. It was a flat out bona fide clinic that their coaching staff put on, in that game. It was a clinic. They went out there and just really exploited them. It's like, okay, you're not going to stop it. Okay, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to screen you and draw you. Because the thing about it is Michigan State, we're being honest. Like I said, we just truth be told, Michigan State's offensive line is still a work in progress. But the smart thing is, you got an over-aggressive defense. You run the draw play. Mm-hmm. That way, you got the defensive ends and the rushing linebackers from the outside rushing upfield. It opens up running lanes for one of the best backs in the country, and Kenneth Walker III. So it was a brilliant game plan. And then what I was impressed with is Jay Johnson had we were texting. We actually texted at the time, but Jay Johnson had balls of steel. You get the first down on that 4th and 1, and then you go straight for the kill shot.
Yep.
Up top. I mean, that was unbelievably
a lot of that credit has to go to Thorne too. I mean, like, he got the first down, which was a tough, QB sneak right at the middle. And I'm pretty sure he was trying to get to Jaden Reed on the outside on that play.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw that Reed wasn't getting open. So he kind of did like, I wouldn't say a panic, but he went through his progressions like relatively quickly, saw Naylor streaking on the sideline and just took a shot. I'm sure that wasn't what the coaches had in mind. I'm sure they're like, hey, throw a back shoulder pass to Jaden Reed on the outside over here, get an easy completion. Thorne just went for the kill shot, and it was incredible. I thought that was a great play. Thorne showed some balls there. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he was like Effie heel, but he out there somewhere open.
yeah, he's gonna beat him, I'm sure. Yeah, that was a beautiful play.
All right. Well, like I said, I really don't care. We're just gonna have some fun with these ones. Shay doesn't know you exist. Okay. You're not friends with Shay Patterson. Okay. Shay Patterson doesn't know you exist, Donovan. Okay. I'll make sure I let him know that tonight that, he doesn't know I exist. Call of Duty Warzone. Okay. SpongeBob SquarePants. All right. Kenneth Walker Corum. Okay.
You take this one.
You want to take that one? I'm not sure anybody remembers this Enterprise car commercial from like 10, 15 years ago. It's about, the wife comes in the bedroom. The wife comes in the room where the husband is, that they're going to go on vacation. And she has 2 things of lingerie. She says, red or black? And he goes, both.
Is that this situation right now? You can't pick one? Both of them look great.
Both of them, exactly. I mean, Kenneth Walker is a complete running back. I think this is the last year, the one and only you're going to have him because he's going pro. I think he's a top 3 round pick. I mean, we just being real,
Be less real.
Okay. All right. I'll be less. Okay.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, but I think he is a very talented back. I think he's a very talented back, and really just, I mean, what an amazing find. On the transfer portal, Mel Tucker. And like I said, I've really been singing Mel Tucker's praises in the offseason because of the way that he hit the transfer portal. He flipped it. He flipped the talent. There was MAC level talent and he replaced it with Power 5 level talent. Mm-hmm. And you got a jewel that could play anywhere. I think he'd be in the top 2. I think he'd be in the top 2 rotation of any backfield in the country, if not the guy. So, and then Blake Corum is just, I mean, he made a kind of an exaggeratory comparison, is that he's Mike Hart with his speed cranked up to 99. And I say that because Mike Hart, as great as he was, Mike Hart wasn't a guy that was going to run away from the defense. He was going to get the tough yards. He was just going to be consistently like a bowling ball just going right at you. Corum is built the same way. Except he will make your safeties look they're in slow motion, like in the Washington game, where the guy literally just comes up for run support, and they literally
such a bad angle too, Lo. It was the worst angle. No coach will ever tell you to take that hard of an angle. But yeah, he blew right by him.
Totally blew by him. Just like
I saw a member of your fan base saying that he reminds him of Saquon Barkley.
I did. I think someone commented on my page with that. Saquon
that's a lofty comparison.
Saquon's a unicorn. Okay. Saquon is closer, and I don't mean any respect to Blake Corum because Blake is a phenomenal player in his own right, but Saquon is closer to Bo Jackson and Herschel Walker than Blake Corum is to Saquon Barkley. Is that a fair assessment from a college running back standpoint? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's closer.
I mean, that's fine. But like we've seen how many starts has Blake Corum had in his career?
He started the first game of his career last year. He had swing passing against Minnesota, but Haskins is really the guy that gets the first reps, and Corum's kind of the changeup. Basically,
Right.
I see Corum. Corum is like in some ways, Corum is like an elite. He's an elite relief pitcher that throws 103 miles an hour. Haskins is the guy that kind of sets the tone, gets bounces off guys. Really softens up the defense because because Haskins is so hard to tackle and runs so hard that and the guys get tired. You bring Corum in there, like they're tired of hitting Haskins, and Corum just runs around him. So, but the thing about it is, it doesn't mean that he's bad. It doesn't take anything away from Corum.
No. Is it fair to say, though, since we've seen all three Michigan running backs have pretty much like a ton of success, is it fair to say that maybe Michigan's offensive line is just dominant this year? Like, is it fair to say that? I mean, sure, he might be really, really good, but what if so and so had this offensive line? Would they be putting up similar numbers?
That's kind of the old adage from the '90s where Emmitt Smith got all the glory because you had that offensive line in Dallas. Mm-hmm. But everyone says, imagine Barry Sanders with Emmitt's offensive line. Nobody would touch Barry. Barry would have 25,000 rushing yards. Yeah. And he would have played another four years, I think, because he wouldn't have been beat up as much. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's fair to say.
I see a lot of runs by Corum where he's literally just not even touched. Like, he's just running through, and, like, the hole is so big that he could take a nap. He could, put the ball down, do his taxes really quick, and then pick it up and run for a touchdown.
Yeah, and which is great as well because I think it took Michigan a long time to get back to this level from an offensive line standpoint. Like from the days of Bo Schembechler with Reggie McKenzie and Dan Deerdorf through Jumbo Elliott in the 80s. I'm just naming off guys to Steve Hutchinson, John Jansen in the 90s, to Jake Long and Jake Long and company in the 2000s. Michigan had an offensive line stock where no matter what Michigan could or couldn't do, they're couldn't do, they're going to have really good running backs behind an offensive line that's going to just wear you the heck down. And I missed a bunch of great names. When Rich Rodriguez took over, Rich Rodriguez broke that mold, and to get smaller, skinnier guys that move better to run his zone scheme. And Michigan's been, and of course we know that didn't work because we just got beat the heck up by these smash mouth teams in the Big Ten. But it's taken Michigan that long to get that stock of offensive line back in Michigan. Finally, and over the last couple of years of recruiting, I knew this was going to come. And I think Michigan's offensive line is the real strength of this team. Because Cade's barely been touched. Even K's barely been touched, and and we're running like crazy, and of course is yet to be seen. But yeah, but the long answer to your question, Blake, the short answer is both of them are outstanding. You see strengths in both, and I think it's a feckless and silly debate to be like, Kenneth Rocket's better than Corum. No, Corum's better than Kenneth Rocket, but that's why we have this show, because we have those debates. So,
Blake, the real answer is Kenneth Walker is better.
Okay, whatever. We'll move on. All right, well, here's another one. Cranky Wolverine. Who runs a faster 40, Don or Connor? Well, I mean, if it's today, it's Connor, because I've got some, I'm not as skinny as I used to be. What was your fastest 40 time?
I don't think I've ever been timed in the 40
time. Well, I actually had a pick six in high school. I never ran good times on the clock, but I had a pick six for 90 yards in high school. I wish I had the film, but I do have the film, but I wish I had loaded it here so I could show it. But I actually had a 90-yard interception return on a jailbreak screen, and I was clocked at a 4.8. Running down this, running it. It was a jailbreak, and where I was basically already had a head start, and just nobody had
the game clock stopped for a few seconds, or what?
Oh, it's the sun. Yeah, there's the sundial time. But yeah, that was the fastest I probably ever was timed. I could actually go back and look at it. But I probably was like a 5'1", 5'2" guy. Whenever that's the fastest I ran. Whenever I was timed, I never ran good times in baseball. I ran a 7.5 60 time. which is slow. 7.70 was good. So I ran at 7.5. So I never ran times fast, but I was able to move decently and well when I needed to.
Believe it or not, they never did 40-yard dashes in JV high school football. So I never got time for it. I think like in 6th grade, maybe I went to a football camp that I was timed. And it was probably like a 5 something because I was in 6th grade. So I don't know.
Which 5 in 6th grade is 5 anything in 6th grade is good. So, but yeah, today it'd be Connor because I'm fat. So that's the short answer. All right. CVJR again. What do you I think as a Michigan fan of the culture that Mel Tucker is building in Michigan State? I think it's an outstanding culture. I think he's doing a great job. I mean, Mark, the way Mark D'Antonio left the program, and the way your administration just completely bumbled the hiring process. I mean, which of course Mark D'Antonio didn't help with the way that he walked out. And to get a guy like Mel Tucker and what he did, basically installing an offense over Zoom last year, getting a rivalry win, and then coming out this year and flipping the roster, and then really getting the fans to believe, like, you guys are having a freaking stripe out on Saturday, and undefeated in a top 20 team, and effectively his first full year. I mean, it's impressive, honestly. I mean, I would be if Jim wasn't on his wasn't on a redemption thing right now. And I think Jim's turning some things around in Michigan to where Michigan's starting to play better and feel like they have a new attitude. If things were trending downward for Michigan, I'd be unbelievably concerned. But right now, Michigan State's a threat. They are a threat. Michigan needs to beat them this year, or else that threat will persist. So yeah, it is what it is.
I think the threat's going to persist no matter what. Like,
I think it will. Obviously,
I think we're going to see another. I mean, this could be proof that both teams could be good at the same time, which a lot of fans don't think is possible. But I think this is like one of the years where we could be like, wow, well, maybe they both could be New Year's Six worthy. Maybe not quite that level, but like they could both be playing on a New Year's Day game, or pushing for the same type of thing.
Some of y'all thought I was crazy when I said Michigan State was going to win 8 games this year.
I thought you were crazy.
And do I look crazy?
No, but I still think 8 is like.
I think 8 is reason. I think 8's reasonable. Yeah,
8's reasonable, but they can't have slip ups against Nebraska, Western Kentucky, Rutgers. Indiana looks beatable now. They can't slip up before the Michigan game more than 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, so I think 8's safe, and like I said, even if you guys do get a slip up, if things continue to develop and you all continue to get a couple of good marquee wins, don't beat Ohio State, because if you beat Ohio State, they're going to be pissed coming to play us. And I don't want that. Y'all did that.
Imagine if Mel beat Ohio State before Jim.
Y'all did that in 26. Oh my God, I don't even want to hear it.
Twitter would be.
I would have to block Star.
You would have to make a thread or something.
I'd have to block Star Wars off Twitter, man.
You would have to disappear for a while for sure.
And man, but honestly, I think 8 wins is reasonable. I think right now, from what I view, Michigan State's got a good team. I think they can go toe to toe with anyone on their schedule, and at minimum give them a game. I'm saying minimum, not maximum, but minimum, give them a game. I think the cornerback play and the offensive line, I think still concerns me for Michigan State, to a point where when you have better school coordinators, that when you get to Big Ten play, you could run into some issues. But I think, but I said the culture, from a culture standpoint, CVJR, I think the culture is outstanding. I wish he was at another school so I could admire him more, but it's hard to admire Michigan State. But but he's building a great culture. It's great to see, just objectively speaking. All right, and so let me.
Really nice of you.
Yeah, man. That's if I wasn't objective this show wouldn't work if I wasn't objective.
True.
If I was like, Mel Tucker sucks. Mel Tucker is a crook. Mel Tucker's a
You're starting
liar.
to sound like a Colorado fan, honestly.
Mel Tucker, see
Midnight Mel.
If man talk like if somebody offered me double my job to go to a better company, double my money, I wouldn't take it because I told them I was staying, even though they could fire me the next day.
Who is this impression of? I gotta write this down.
Just a lunatic person. All right, let's go to
a lunatic person.
Yeah. All right. Here's how we rank the teams: Miami, Washington, Northwestern, WMU, NAU, ISU. That's how you rank the teams. Okay, that's fair. It's however you slice it, however you rank them.
I think 1 and 6 are pretty solidified there. I think you can mix up 1, 2, and 6. Washington can make a case for 1. The Northwestern, WMU, NAU, I think is definitely probably the worst out of those 3. But I mean, we don't know how good Western is. Western could be like a top tier MAC team this year.
Yeah, they could go. Yeah, they could be.
And Northwestern could mess around and win the Big Ten West. Honestly, we have no idea. The West is so bad, and Northwestern is the most unpredictable team of all time that they could go out and beat, Wisconsin tomorrow and then lose to Illinois. We have no idea.
That's true.
But I think that's a fair ranking. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Very fair. Very fair. Well said. But yeah, that's a good analysis. It's not like I said, this is nothing really for us to dissect because, like I said, we all made all these programs. We sent all these people home. We're back to their dorm rooms with an L. So that's what matters. All right, this is a personal question for me.
Oh,
Don, how do you know so many people?
I would like to know the answer to that.
You know the answer? Okay.
How do you know so many people?
I don't know. I'm just in a different. I've lived in 4 states. Just been in different places, and you just organically meet folks. I don't know. I've never met a stranger in my life, and it is what it is.
You organically meet like Chris Webber. And
Chris Webber. Oh, Chris Webber.
That's friends.
Yeah. Chris Webber's the Webbers are family.
But how? That's how.
Oh, how? Okay, with Chris Webber, I'll give you an example. With Chris Webber, my mom's best friend. Her daughter was high school sweethearts with Chris's brother, Jeff. And they were high school sweethearts. They got married about 20 years ago. They're still married, raising a family here in Atlanta. And the families were really close. And so since my mom was close to them, I kind of, when I got to Atlanta, merged up with everybody. And, me and Jeff became really close. And Jeff introduced me to Chris.
There you go.
Chris is my guy. Good dude, man. Great person. Love to have him on the show one day, but we don't know.
People want to know how you hung out with Juwan Howard.
Oh, Juwan Howard?
I'm guessing that's another one people want to know how.
Juwan Howard. Well, so of course, our guest last year, assistant basketball coach Sadie Washington, Michigan. Sadie was my summer basketball coach back in the year 2000 when I was like 12. And he was playing overseas, but when he came back to Michigan, he coached and he actually volunteered in my youth group. So Sadie was just a really great supportive guy, very infectious personality, and just we've kept in touch through the years. And Michigan hired him about 5 years ago, and he's hooked me. I mean, he's hooked me up with great access, and he introduced me to Juwan Howard, and so yeah. So it's pretty cool,
John's got connections, is what he's saying.
I'm not trying to say
you got connections. You're over here shooting threes on Chrysler Arena's floor.
I mean that's from Saudi. Saudi, he's a wonderful person.
I get it. Yeah.
And that's
Saudi was good people for sure.
Oh yeah, I'll always love Saudi for this. He had me come up for the tournament and got me tickets to all the games. I just see he's wonderful. Like I've always loved him, and I love him even more now. There's almost like nothing I could do to repay him. He's the best. So can we not compare Corum to Hart already? I mean, we're going on. I mean, you got to be nuanced, man. Everyone's all stop making the comparisons. It's just using characteristics, similarities. Not saying he's Michael Hart. Mike Hart is his own person.
I think Corum's more like a Bo Jackson mixed with Barry Sanders.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, it's just trying to find similarities and such. So yeah, I'm just going through our questions.
What year is Corum?
Corum, yeah, he's sophomore. True sophomore, but of course freshman from an NCAA standpoint. But I think he's going up to next year.
He was a freshman last year.
He was a true freshman.
What was his recruiting ranking?
He was like 106.
Oh, so he was like a top recruit.
Oh, he was like a four-star recruit. Because I loved his high school film because of how fast. Like we hadn't had this kind of speed in our backfield in like forever. It's like Tyrone Wheatley maybe, or Anthony Thomas, and we haven't had this speed in a while. Like a guy that can just take it the distance at any play. Of course, Denard is an exception, but he's a quarterback. But it's like it was amazing, honestly. Yep, and hey, our friend of the show, Plop. How much better is Western Michigan? You gotta love Plop. Plop just plops in. That's what perfect name. How much better is Western Michigan than anyone else the other team has played?
Easily.
They're top 5 team, Western Michigan. But
they're a top 6 team of either team schedule for sure right now.
Oh yeah, I think they're good. I think they'll make a bowl, but I'm not gonna go that far. So let's go. Our friend Jack is here. Would you have Corum? Would you have Corum and an average O line, or Michigan's offensive line with an average running back? That's a Connor question because I got both. I got the line and Corum, so that's you, Connor.
But he's asking you, like, would you rather keep Corum and then have Michigan's offensive line be worse, or would you rather have or would you rather have like I'm trying to think of like an average running, like I'm not gonna say Charbonnet's average, but like would you rather have Charbonnet and a really good offensive line?
I mean, I love Corum. I want Corum. He's here, but I mean the offensive line's the foundation. It's like
you're not running anywhere with a bad offensive line.
Exactly. It's a foundation. Corum would transfer anyways. We had a bad line. It's like would you rather have a 3,000 square foot house on a sturdy foundation or a 30,000 square foot house on a bad foundation?
3,000.
Huh? 3,000. Exactly. You want a firm foundation.
Because if you have a bad foundation on 30,000 square feet, that's a lot. That's a lot of money you're about to spend on fixing it.
Or there's a lot of houses about to crash down on you.
Yeah.
They got to find you in the rubble.
That's a good question, though.
Exactly, but great question.
Jack never asked bad questions.
That's an outstanding question, honestly. But foundation. All right, let's see. There's another personal one. Don all the way. Okay. Yay. All right.
I disagree.
Whatever. All right. Twill Seasons, High Legends. Hello, Twill. You are the legend.
My guy.
4 states is a rookie number because that's where I've lived. Michigan, Texas, Mississippi, Georgia. I mean, that's where I'm currently is in Georgia.
I lived in 3.
What states are yours?
Michigan, Illinois. So I lived in the suburbs of Chicago for like a half a year, and then I moved to California for like 6 months. So
okay.
3.
I'll tell you on my personal, so I never knew that about you. Anyways, All right. My buddy B-Flow Spartan, Don, you are a GD legend. Thank you. Your picture is legendary as well. I wish I could have that flow. Don is closet rich. I don't know about that.
I'd like to know that.
Yeah. Hi. Okay. All right. Okay. These guys are now that y'all talking to each other. Y'all silly, man. That's all I gotta say. Is y'all some silly people. Yeah, man. I just
honestly though, that question, the Jack question about would you rather have a really good offensive line and an average running back? That would be like, I'm trying to think of the most average running back you could think of.
Emmitt Smith. No, I can't say that about Emmitt Smith. He's a Hall of Famer.
Average. That was kind of a shot right there.
But he had great. But Emmitt wasn't super. Emmitt had great vision. I'll give him that. He had 20/20 running back vision.
What about No Sean Moreno? That's the most average running back I can think of. No Sean Moreno or a Monty Ball in the pros. with a really good
Oh,
offensive
Monty
line.
Ball.
In the pros, though, Monty Ball was
at what? But yeah, but everyone in Wisconsin ran over us back then.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, the offensive line in Wisconsin was incredible that his flaws were exposed in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But yeah, the offensive line thing I think is I think the offensive you have to have that, man, because I mean that a bad offensive line is why y'all had negative 48 back in 2013.
Yeah.
Because Michigan's offensive line was so bad. I mean Michigan State's defense was outstanding that year, but you don't get negative 48 yards unless your offensive line sucks.
I will say that Michigan State's offensive line has been a lot better this year compared to last year.
Oh, of course, yeah.
At the same time, it makes you wonder what Kenneth Walker's stats would look like if the line was, on like a Michigan level. Right now, Kenneth Walker is running. His plays are like directed to the right, and then he sees that everything's closed up, and then he makes like a quick cutback and goes to the left. If those holes were open where they should be open, he'd still be running right now. Like his numbers are crazy as they are.
Yeah,
they could be higher with a better line.
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, offensive line play is there, and that's, I think, a great thing. But the main thing is, I mean, a question that I have, this is just my personal question, and you all can, chime in. We got our pick 10 coming up in a second. We're going to have our executive producer come on to join us like the Bear does on game day. I think what I'm interested in is, can Michigan, of course, Michigan is not going to get 300 yards a game the rest of the way. I wish they did. That'd be awesome. But I'm wondering if Michigan is able to run the ball, not on an elite level, because they're on an elite level right now, on an elite level through the Big Ten season. That's what I'm wondering. That's the question that I have. When your objective Sparty opinion, what you think?
Say the question again.
Do you believe Michigan can run the ball at an elite level in Big Ten play?
It depends on, honestly, it depends on the passing game. If Michigan can prove that they have a legitimate passing game, defenses are going to be forced to respect that. They're not going to be, sending 8 guys into the box, 9 guys into the box to stop Corum and Haskins and Edwards. But I think that if we see the passing game take off or even do more than it is right now, that they're not even trying because they don't need to. They're not trying to throw the ball. They don't need to right now. They're beating teams by running, 9 times out of 10. I think Michigan has the guys that can put up big rushing yards against good teams. But again, like, you could have the best offensive line and the best running back, but if you can't throw the ball and the teams don't respect your passing game, they're just going to load the box and just pummel you up front. So yeah, they could and they should put up good numbers, but it depends on what we see from Cade. Yeah,
and the thing is, that's been the reason why I'm so encouraged, is because even when Michigan had those teams that were on the cusp of the playoff and in the Big Ten championship, like in 2016, 2018, the issue Michigan had was they couldn't run the ball when they absolutely needed to. They couldn't run it when they absolutely needed to. And like, if Michigan could run the ball when they needed to, Michigan has 2 Big Ten championships, in my opinion, and 2 playoff appearances. And so Michigan's finally able to do that. And I think I believe Cade is capable of being able to drop back and just get the ball. Because, I mean, J.J. McCarthy's talent is off the charts. Mm-hmm. Off the charts. His physical tools are off the charts. But I believe Cade is the type of guy that Michigan needs right now, because you need someone that can conduct the band. That's what you need right now. You don't need Beyonce or Michael Jackson out there. You need someone that can just keep the band, keep the pieces in play, and just get the ball and pop, 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 get the ball in people's hands. That's what you need right now. And I think Cade is capable of that. And it's just going to be a matter of the receivers really getting their confidence, running good routes, getting open. Because I believe if these receivers can get open and get their separation, I believe Cade can get them the ball, and I believe the offensive line will be able to protect them. So
I'm sticking with my bold prediction from the beginning of the year about Michigan. Where
JJ, I mean, it's fair. It's fair.
I give it like a couple more games before fans really start pushing it. I mean, Cade's hasn't done anything wrong, but like the fact that the coaching staff isn't passing the ball enough. Not I wouldn't say enough because they haven't needed to, but like the fact that they're not incorporating the pass as much as, say Michigan State or Ohio State or all these other teams. Does it mean that the staff doesn't trust Cade to pass? Which maybe, but does it mean that they're just hoping that JJ feels more comfortable before they give him the starting nod? I think that the fans are really going to start getting on Harbaugh if he doesn't start passing or goes the guy that everybody has been hoping for.
Yeah, and I spoke to the horse's mouth, spoke to Cade himself after the Washington game. And he said that Michigan it wasn't that Michigan didn't want to pass, didn't have it in their game, but didn't trust them. It's just they knew that Washington was going to be hard to pass on, but also they found an opening, and they just expounded on that. And also we got to think it is as long as Cade's been in the program, it seems like forever. Even though this is his first year as a starter, third year in the program, that was Cade's first prime time start in front of a full stadium. So I think they probably were just, other than letting him in there easy, but I don't think they have any issues putting the ball or putting it on his arm. And like I said, figuring out how to develop JJ, when to put him in, when to do all this kind of stuff. It's a wonderful problem to have. It's a great problem to have, but it's just, I guess we're going to have to see. So yeah, but yeah, I think we'll see what happens. I think we're going to get to how Michigan State will do against Nebraska this weekend, and how Michigan will do in their first conference game against Rutgers and others. I think it's time for the Pick 10. What do you think?
I mean, I'm ready to keep my my first place position for another week.
Man. Okay.
I'm going to build my lead this week.
You're going to build your lead. Oh,
I'm going to go 10-0 this week.
Yep. So we've got. All right. Let me So we're gonna have.
I'm feeling real Michigan State-ish right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm feeling like the one that you're doubting, but I am coming this weekend to your house, and I'm going to stomp something in you on these Pick 10s, you all. I've got to come from the cellar because that week 2 was atrocious for me. That I didn't get a chance to really express my grievance at how bad week 2's predictions were. Like that was crazy.
What was your record week 2?
We're not going to talk about that, but I'll just put it like this: BYU really woke me up.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize like there is this gap between the SEC and the Big 12. Like my mind goes back, unfortunately, to Vince Young, University of Texas days, where Big 12 is just the dominant conference with Vince Young. You're going to put it right there on the screen. And they went and played Arkansas, and Arkansas said, come on into the SEC if you want to. And it was just like that the whole day. So last week I did a little better. So I feel like I've got some momentum, but I'm feeling real Michigan State like it's time for the upset.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So here we go.
Those are big words. Those are big words.
These are our records, and Dad was rolling over in his grave by you saying you feel Spartan-y right now. That's all I got.
Well, I mean, if I was going to be Michigan-y, then I'd be playing it safe right now, and I would just, it'd be no Hail Mary picks this week at all. It would be straight direct snap HB dive and short out pass.
We can't see the whole picture because we split up. So Lord.
He just moved it back for you.
He just moved it back. So we're actually going to take him off the camera right now. Bye, Connor. Anyways. All right, let's start off with our first game. It's the big noon kickoff. In Soldier Field. It is Notre Dame versus Wisconsin. Who y'all have?
Let's go with Vince first on all these picks.
Yeah, you could do that if you want. Let me be the one that comes
Let's
out
you
here.
be the test dummy here.
Listen, I don't think Notre Dame has been able to shake the Toledo. I think it's in the back of their mind. And Wisconsin, they're going to travel well. So is Notre Dame. I mean, both teams are going to travel extremely well. But I think that this weekend, Wisconsin shows you that there's still something you want to see. And the reason I'm saying they're going to win this weekend is because they might get upset the weekend after. So I'm going Wisconsin this weekend.
Hope they get upset the weekend after.
Listen, we got to do something this year.
Oh man, I think you got a good point with the Toledo thing, but then they came out last week and pulled away from Purdue late.
Very late. Yeah,
very late. I mean, Notre Dame's not the best team this year. I think we all kind of realize that, but I also think Wisconsin is just there's just nothing about Wisconsin that screams like Big Ten contender right now. And they might prove me wrong, but I think that Notre Dame wins this one. Neutral field, like you said, both teams are going to travel well. It's going to be a split stadium. I think Notre Dame wins this one.
Yep, and CVJR also picks Wisconsin as well. So
thank you.
So we got
you
right there. We got that one there. But yeah,
Stevie, just remember who's in last place in these picks.
Hey, we all have a comeback story. It's a long season.
Yeah, I also have Wisconsin. I think they're playing better. Notre Dame, like I said, Notre Dame is still, iffy. It's pretty funny. And also, I think they're playing against Jack Cohn, their former quarterback. So you shouldn't have left, brother. But I think it's gonna be a rock fight. Because I think both offenses are still trying to find their identity. And I think, of course, Graham Mertz he's subject to breakout. Hopefully that happens later in the season. But I got Wisconsin, even though it's really is as neutral of a game as you can get. Between right smack dab between South Bend and Madison. So I'm going to go with Wisconsin. Of course, I'm hoping Notre Dame doesn't win because
everybody hates Notre Dame.
Yeah, that and also I would hate to play a Wisconsin team staring at a possible third loss, at home next week. So I don't want that either. That would suck. Because they'd be the wounded dog in the corner.
So this is a hopeful prediction.
It's not a hopeful.
It's a strategic prediction because it's going to if we lose this pick this week, then like Don said, if we're going to keep our record together and not just be home team, we know what we have to pick next week. So I'm hoping they feel really excited about winning in Chicago, so that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Here comes the boom. So Connor, you get Notre Dame?
I did.
All right. Yeah, that's a hopeful pick too. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. We tired of you already. We're gonna end this thing early if we need to. But yeah, Louisville at Florida State.
Listen. I'm going Louisville just because there's no thought right now. Florida State is on fire. In
the worst way possible.
In the worst way possible. They literally a symbol of their season is their own mascot that comes out and runs on the field and throws the stake into the ground. That's symbolic of their season right now. You lost to Jacksonville State.
And also Norvell had his quarterback. You told quarterback on the sideline. I keep wishing I had these clips. Quarterback was running the sideline, and Coach told him go back on the field and fall down injured. Man, it's you need a timeout that bad.
Who is their starter right now? Is it Travis or is it Milton?
It was Travis. But
what are they going to learn?
Yeah, McGill. You might as well play. McKenzie Milton's basically playing on a bionic knee.
But I'd take my chances with him over Jordan Travis, who can't throw a football. But whatever. What do I know? So you said you're going with Louisville?
I'm going with Louisville.
I think I'm going to go Florida State.
What?
I think that they're gonna win eventually, right? They have to win eventually. And Louisville's not exactly a world beater. They beat who did they beat last week? That was a decent team. UCF. They beat UCF, but that's their signature win this year. A UCF team that, we didn't even know if they were any good. They barely snuck by Boise State in the opener. We have no idea how good UCF is.
Brown Bear Kamar. Florida State is absolutely trash.
Florida State. No. Florida State is bad. Don't get me wrong. Florida State is really bad, but they're bound to win a game this year. And it's probably going to come at home, and it's probably going to come against a bottom half ACC team, which Louisville is.
Yeah.
So I think Florida State finally wins one, but this might be their first one, their only win for another month.
I think Louisville is riding high from that unbelievably exciting game last week against UCF where they had 2 picks, and their picks is I think they're riding high. I think they're feeling good. Florida State doesn't know which way's up. Florida State be lucky to win 2 games this year. I'm going with the Cardinals.
But this is one of their 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
Huh?
This is going to be one of their 2 wins.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see because I'll be in front of my TV with my center. In my entertainment center, and I'll be in front and watch in center. Well, let's go. Let's move on. Let's go.
Oh, this is tough.
Iowa State at Baylor.
It's tough.
Man,
flip a coin.
Yeah, like either pick. It won't necessarily be bad. Iowa State, they've been playing well all season. Baylor, they look like they are the Big 12 favorites. Oh, what the heck? Let's go Iowa State. Let's go.
Oh man, we're disagreeing 3 straight times.
Soup, man.
all I know is one of us are going to have a good day Saturday.
Yeah, one of us is going to have a really good day. One of us is going to be a really bad day. I'm going Baylor because Iowa State's offense right now is pretty much a dumpster fire, unless they can figure it out before Saturday. And Baylor's defense has been one of the best in the country this year. So that's not exactly a recipe for success. Baylor's been blowing out everybody, and they honestly should be a top 25 team. I think Baylor's going to find a way because it's a home game. The atmosphere is going to be crazy. And Iowa State's just kind of been to me this year. Yeah,
I'm going to go Baylor at home at McLean Stadium. That gigantic spaceship-looking thing off of I-35. We actually won a state championship at Baylor back in 2003.
We were the last team to play on the real grass field they had before they installed the artificial turf.
But that's at their old stadium because their old stadium was torn down, and it was an old stadium. I will never forget the locker room at Baylor. We were the visitors' locker room, and the locker room was like 3 stories up, and so we actually had to. And it was like underneath the press box. So we had to go down this long ramp down, and then we walk up like a quick flight of steps, and we're on the field level. So that's how we entered the stadium, and then all our fans go crazy. But that was fun, State champ. My ring is somewhere, but I'm a state champion, and that's where we did it. We did it at Baylor, and I lost the baseball state championship game at Baylor. So Baylor is kind of hot and cold memories for me, but I'm going to pull for them today. That's a little side story.
I have another reason for you to pick Baylor. It's a fun fact I got for you. The stadium is named McLean Stadium, and the namesake is it's named after Drayton McLean, who actually went to Michigan State.
Oh,
okay.
So the stadium is named after a former Michigan State student turned billionaire businessman.
Okay, all right, fine.
So go Baylor.
Yeah, and also. But I love it that all the soup talk is going away from the Michigan people.
For now. Wait till the offseason.
For now. But yeah, Clemson at NC State. Ooh, this is spicy. This is spicy.
I mean, Clemson's got to show up, right? And then they're going to have some variety some weeks, right?
You would think.
At some point, they're going to pull out the actual playbook and not the 7-on-7 spring playbook that they've been playing these last 3 weeks. So okay. This is tough because they only beat Georgia Tech by 2 yards, in essence.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's bad. It felt like a lot. If I was a Clemson fan, that would feel like a loss. It's rare you beat a conference opponent and drop in the rankings. It's very rare.
Because it's Georgia State.
It's because it's yeah.
I mean Georgia Tech. Excuse me, Georgia Tech.
Pretty much the same thing.
Their stadiums are like 2 miles from each other.
Yeah, one's anyway, I'm not gonna get in trouble here because I
Anyway. He's a Georgia State season ticket holder, so he
can. Let me not get in trouble here. So,
yeah.
but still, Clemson, and we're talking about NC State. I think Clemson is going to play better this week. You got kind of 3 weeks, and sometimes you got to figure it out. Like, we don't have Trevor Lawrence anymore. We don't have ETN anymore. Okay, we really need to play football now. We don't have Deshaun Watson. We've got to play football. So I think this is the week they play football, and they eke out another close victory over NC State.
This Clemson team kind of reminds me of when Michigan State lost, Jeremy Langford, Connor Cook, and they realized, wait, we actually relied so heavily on them for 2 or 3 years, and now we're just kind of stuck trying to figure out who's supposed to replace them. They don't really have a running back that's like ETN. I think it's Shipley or something like that, who's kind of a nobody, and he hasn't really done anything. And DJU has just been awful this year. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if it's like a mental thing or what. But they've just looked terrible. And like you said, they're going to show up sometime. Eventually they'll show up. And I think they'll win this game, but it won't make anybody feel that much better because it'll probably be like a 3-point win again.
Mm. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Wolfpack. Oh! That's the NWO Wolfpack from the 90s. 30-year-old remembers that. But I love the Wolfpack. Oh! But yeah, I think they're playing in Raleigh. The fans, it's a smaller stadium over there, but their fans really get into these games, and it's a tough place to play, honestly. So I think DJ. I don't think DJU and the offense's concerns are going to, or issues are going to be fixed in 1 week of practice. According to our resident Clemson super-fan at our church, Gabe Parks, he thinks the offensive coordinator is the problem. So if that's the case, then yeah, I think they're in trouble. But I'm going with NC State, Wolfpack. Oh!
Let's hope we never have to pick another NC State game again.
Anything wolf, dog.
Yeah, so I got to go with that. But here's another one. Texas A&M at Arkansas. Can lightning strike twice?
Oh man,
no, it's Texas A&M. I probably shouldn't be picking it as fast. Arkansas does impress me. If you have a quarter season most improved team award, it goes to Arkansas because they're playing some really good football. But I think Jimbo puts together a decent game plan, and they go and execute in Arkansas. If you're an Arkansas fan and you're watching, I'm sorry, I just haven't been.
By the way, before you make your pick, this is not at Arkansas. It's in AT&T Stadium in Arlington. So
it's a neutral site. Okay,
yeah,
wow. Yeah.
If that influences, I might have written that wrong. If that influences your pick at all,
CVJR.
Oh man,
yes. He's right.
No,
he's right.
No, listen, they are playing well, but going to a bigger stage, I don't see it. I see A&M. It's going to be a great game. We're going to have some great football at AT&T Stadium, but AT&T goes to A&M.
Okay. Yep. So the all-time series here is Arkansas leads 41-33-3. So clearly the better team is Arkansas, correct? That's how we're doing the logic these days, is all-time series records. Is that?
Here we go. Here we go. Michigan shots. All right.
71-30-something-6. Okay,
yeah. But like since 1950, it's like almost even. Anyways,
10 more wins on our part since 1950.
No, I think it's 7.
It's like 31-20, wasn't like that?
No, it's not.
I
wrote a tweet. I'll go back and look at it. Anyways,
we'll look again.
Okay, so currently, Texas A&M is on a 9-game win streak in the series, which is crazy. But Arkansas has been bad for a while. This is Arkansas's best team in the past decade.
It is.
Arguably, maybe not even arguably. It's probably their best team in a decade.
No, it is. They're
Since,
putting
like
putting
Tyler
together
Wilson.
football games.
Yeah, they're
muscling.
recruiting well. They're recruiting really well. Listen, I'm very impressed with what Sam Pittman has done there. He kind of reminds me of Tucker.
Can we take a quick side journey here? Like, how do you recruit to Arkansas? Like, what is that conversation like?
I mean, it's the conversation is Fayetteville is a pretty cool college town. Also, in Arkansas, they have no major sports teams. The only team they have in Arkansas is the Razorbacks. So you have a state-of-the-art basketball arena. You've got pretty much a minor league, big minor league type baseball stadium. You've got a really 70,000 seat football stadium. You've got all those things because that's the only game in town, and they're completely obsessed with their Razorbacks. I got to pull the Razorback, the pig lady, just sing these songs whenever they had these bands. All right, Razorback.
No more Razorback games either. No more of those.
Yeah. So that's I could see that now. They've been putting together great games. I mean, you're talking like 41-10. You're talking 34-0. You're talking 10-7 over. But this is the are we for real game? Are we the real deal? That's what Saturday is. This says, hey, we're Arkansas. Take us seriously. That's what's on the line right now.
All right, that's so you say Texas A&M is going to show that they're the real deal. Okay,
I'm going to say that they're used to being in this type of game, so they're gonna. It's another close but great game, and A&M is just going to edge out, but it's not going to be a cakewalk like previous years.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's also important to note that this is a trap game for A&M because Alabama's coming to town next week in College Station. Okay. And that game's already sold out.
You're making my decision even easier here.
Yeah,
I was already sold on Arkansas, but A&M is down a quarterback. They're down. I mean, Calzada is okay, but the Haynes King, who they lost in the opener or the second game, I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah,
he was the guy. Like he was supposed to be like the next, hopefully Johnny football type of player. So losing him, Arkansas is due. I mean, they haven't won since what's the year here? 2011. So they're due. The game is sometimes even close when Arkansas sucks. I don't think the game hasn't been like touchdowns separating them for a while. I'm gonna go Arkansas. And by the way, Michigan leads the series since Michigan State joined the Big Ten, 38-31-2. 38-31-2. So 7 games.
Stupid Mark D'Antonio. Anyways. But I will say with this game that we're talking about right now, A&M Arkansas at AT&T Stadium, I think Arkansas's got a great team. Lucas Coley, backup freshman quarterback for Arkansas, played at our high school, Cornerstone in San Antonio. He's in the future, in their future and all that. But I think Texas A&M has a big look ahead, so I think that's going to be a problem as well. I think A&M still has better athletes, and I think it comes down to really a field goal game. And I think you're going to have the core, waving their little towels and with their little faded haircuts, and and they're going to be very excited when the Aggies, and of course the rule is they score, you score. So they kiss their girls at every touchdown. So, and I think they're going to kiss their girls one more time than the Arkansas people would if they were A&M people. So I'm going with the Aggies. Gig 'em Eggs.
Whoop pig. Whoop suey.
Oh, I can do that one too.
No, don't do that
one. You're glad I didn't pick. You're glad I know how to do that.
Yeah. We'll say
I've been to an Arkansas game before, and it was annoying.
I'm sure it was.
I'm
sure every SEC little detail to all their celebrations.
Oh God,
Cowbells in Mississippi State. Like
listen. It sounds like a herd of cattle are coming at every
I like the Cowbells until Michigan played them in a bowl game. Then I hated them, and then they killed us.
Yeah.
So and the people there, way bait y'all, man. Y'all sucked for the last 100 years, man. You got us on a bad day, man. We'd be up 90-10 10 on y'all, man, if we played y'all.
That's like that stupid drum at the Cleveland Indians games where the guy just beating the drum the whole game. You're like, well, that's kind of cool. And then the Tigers are playing them and they're losing by 5 runs. You're like, okay, that drum's got to go.
Yeah, I know, but let's move on. We'll go out west to the where the smart people and the big trees and the expensive restaurants are. UCLA at Stanford. These are some really
academics.
Really
is this an academics pick?
Yeah, this is a spelling bee this weekend.
Academic bowl.
That'd be a close one though. That'd be a good one.
We're doing a spelling bee. I have been a Stanford fan after they handled USC. Like the way they played football, to me says, okay, this is gonna be a good one. So, I've been a fan, but UCLA is still playing some good football. Oh, what the heck? Let's go Stanford.
Ooh, I'm with that. I think Stanford's going to win too. I think UCLA got knocked down a little bit, and
all right.
I don't know. I don't think Fresno State is the number 22 team in the country like their ranking suggests, and I think that Stanford's got experience pounding, a conference opponent like they did to USC. So I think they're going to handle the other Los Angeles team.
Yeah, I think Stanford's good. I think Fresno State really, pantsed them last week, especially coming back on it again. I stayed up I couldn't stay up to the last snap because it was 2 a.m. our time, but I watched that game in the fourth quarter, dozing in and out. Yeah, UCLA has a good team. They got caught with their pants down, and I think this is the week they can respond. Because the thing is with Stanford isn't really a big home field advantage because their fans. It's a big old historic stadium, that's half empty, and then all their fans leave at halftime. So I think that game's going to even out, and I'm going to pick UCLA and Dorial Thompson-Robinson and Zach Charbonnet. I'm not going to sing the Charbonnet song today. So I think they're going to go and get it done. So I've got the Bruins, UCLA. Even though Johnny Juzang still makes me cry at night.
You guys are gonna be wrong.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, you said Stanford. He said UCLA. Got it.
No, I said Stanford.
No, I know you said Stanford. He said UCLA. On my screen, I'm pointing.
On your screen, you're pointing at me. On my screen, you're pointing at me. I'm like, no, don't give me that one.
All right, what's the next category? The guy in this category.
Tennessee. Who did you pick, Connor? You picked.
I picked Stanford.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to win that one. All right. Tennessee at Florida. I think we pretty much know this one. We can wrap this one pretty quick.
This one might be a across the board deal.
Yeah, because Florida showed that Alabama is penetrable.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you showed Alabama's penetrable and Alabama showed that, there's a difference between a number 1 ranking and a number 14 ranking in the first game of the season, I got to believe that Florida is just the superior team right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Dan Mullen's got these guys playing.
Yep.
Florida by 3 touchdowns at least.
Yep.
At half?
Maybe, probably. Honestly.
Okay.
If Joe Milton, then maybe 4. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, Tennessee fans may want to find a square dance contest, or a square dance contest, a turret tossing competition, or like a hog or a hog pageant, to measure how big a hog is. Yeah, this hog over here is 740.
Well, we don't want to lose our Tennessee viewers because of this pick.
That's why I'm staying quiet. Any of the views reflected by one of the commentators are just solely his, but not a part of a podcast divided.
Yeah. Reminds me of Potter, our teammate back when we were living in Michigan, who lived out in the farm. We talked to. We're not going to go there though. We're not going to. Yeah,
next.
Yes. Yeah. Hold on. Kansas State at Oklahoma State.
There's a lot of tough ones this week. I don't like it.
Yeah, we're starting to get we're almost in October, so it's almost October football. So
it's real football now.
Yeah, it's not as cut and dry as week 1.
Yeah.
Man.
Keep in mind, Kansas State is ranked 25th now. Shockingly.
And Kansas State pretty much, I think they shut out Stanford in the opener at Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. Yeah, Kansas State.
They shut them out?
Yeah, I think it was like 23-zip.
Wow. Jeez.
It was 24-7. 24-7.
They were up. I guess they scored a late touchdown. Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting.
I'm gonna go. It's not gonna be a blowout, but I'm gonna go Kansas State. Oklahoma State just hasn't pulled away from any of their, opening 3-week games. Like they've just been playing good enough to get by, good enough to win. But you're talking about wins against Missouri State, Tulsa, Boise State. They beat Boise State by 1.
That was a good one.
But it just hasn't been something where you'd say they're gonna go ahead and top KSU. So I'm gonna go Kansas State.
Yeah.
No, I'm going Oklahoma State. I don't know, honestly. I don't know any lost their quarterback a couple weeks ago for the season. Oklahoma State's win at was pretty impressive. Vince is right. Like they have not really beaten anybody this year. They haven't really pulled away from the teams they should have pulled away from. And I don't really think that either of these teams are that great, but whoever wins is probably going to be staying in the top 25. I think Oklahoma State wins just because Boone Pickens is a tough place to play, and Kansas State's just not there yet.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Kansas State. They're playing better. The former North Dakota State coach is their coach now. I think he's getting his system in place. I mean, he won like 5 national titles in a row, and really big because at that level you got to be able to recruit guys that the other guys aren't have their eyes focused on. So he's getting his that talent that he's pulling out is now developing and coming through the system. And I think they're ready. I think they're going to compete for the Big 12 this year. Give me the Wildcats. Go down to Stillwater, home of Tyson Ritter, the All-American Rejects.
You guys are teaming up on me now.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, here we go. Let's go to why you all tuned in. Here we go. Rutgers at Michigan.
Go Blue. It's still Michigan. This is one of those games where Michigan's going to make us sweat, at least for the first half, and then in the second half kind of pull away. So I'm not saying, it's the old school Michigan and Rutgers matchup where it's 52-3, in favor of Michigan. You're going to have Michigan that is a slightly better football team, slightly better, but Michigan's defense has just been superb. I mean, granted, we've played, who we played. So Michigan by a little.
I think Michigan wins this one pretty comfortably. I don't know if it's going to be by like 2 or 3 touchdowns, but I think they win by, I want to say like 10. I think we see a Michigan team that's a little more focused this year. It's early on in the season. They have a little momentum, confidence. I think they're going to pass the ball a little more in this game, and the run game is just going to be dominant like usual. Rutgers might get a little love from the national media because of Schiano turning things around pretty quickly, but I don't think that they're on Michigan's level nearly yet. So I'm going to say Michigan by double digits.
I think this game's going into the fourth quarter. I think Michigan is having to learn how to deal with success, and I think this is going to be uncomfortable for Michigan games into the fourth quarter, for Michigan fans in the fourth quarter. I think a late touchdown. I think a late touchdown in the last 5 minutes will end the game for Michigan. We'll seal it, and the defense will step up and turn Noah Vidral and company away. I think Michigan wins a 1-score game. So I think it's going to be close. It's just kind of the ebbs and flows. I think, water finds its level, and sometimes when it finds its level, it's going to go up and it's going to go down. So I got Michigan, but I think it's going to be Michigan close though.
I think it's worth noting that Michigan has already passed their season win total from last year. So just we can keep going. All right.
Yeah, so that's very true. So was Michigan State. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so Michigan across the board. So then last but not least, Nebraska at Michigan State, night game, FS1, a stripe out. Y'all better strike the stadium out, or we're gonna make fun of y'all like y'all made fun of us. So all right, Michigan State at Nebraska.
I'm going MSU. Nebraska is terrible. They are terrible. Like, they're not good. I mean, how do you have players who have been almost playing an entire decade in a program and you're still that bad? Michigan State wins handily, and you get to see in prime time how terrible Nebraska is.
I would love that. I would love to see Nebraska just wiped out of the stadium. I would like run out the gates, everything. But I feel like, I don't know, there's just something about this game after Nebraska kept it close against Oklahoma last week. There's just something that I think it's just me being a fan of a team that I just think the worst about every single game. Like if you were being, the most positive fan, you probably would have said Michigan beat Rutgers by 3 touchdowns. But I think that we're all so realistic that anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
I think State should win. I think that it'll be close, though. I think it'll be like a field goal or a touchdown. And it'll be like, I won't say like high scoring, but it'll be like a relatively like a
17-14.
Maybe like a 27-24.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
It'll be close. It'll be one of those games.
Here's the thing, y'all. I said, like with the Michigan, water finds its level. Michigan State is a good team. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But also, it's a Michigan State team that's still relearning how to win because they haven't been a consistent winner since before D'Antoni, before that nosedive with a 3-9 season. So it's a program that's regained its pride and regaining it. And I think Nebraska is really – I see Nebraska as that wounded dog in the corner. Scott Frost is basically Scott Frost is basically in a landfill of landmines. It could be one step and his leg blown off, and he's headed to, coach at Idaho Tech. So I think Nebraska is going to come to East Lansing. They are going to make the game very, very ugly, like oogly, like nasty, booty, stinky, ugly.
Please pick Nebraska.
And I don't like Nebraska. I don't like Michigan State either, but I like y'all. I think Nebraska's going to win.
Let's go. Okay. All right. That's perfect.
I think.
Wow.
I think Nebraska is going to come in.
Wow. Is this how we end tonight's show?
Yes. They're going to come in and they're going to win a very bizarre game. And Star Wars is going to be attacking all the Michigan fans on Twitter for 2 days straight because he's going to be really sad. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a really, 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 really bad. It's going to be an ugly game. But here's the thing. If it happens, I could be dead wrong. Michigan State could win by 30. If it happens, I still wouldn't panic if I was a Michigan State fan. Because you see what you're building, and this is Mel's first year, really. I said before last season that was year 0. This is effectively Mel's year 1, and he's and the roster is still and culture is still in construction. So this is not a knock on Michigan State as much as it is a team still learning how to win, and Nebraska and Scott Frost need it more. and they, after what they did with Oklahoma last week, they're gonna believe they can hang.
Lucy's never gonna forgive you for this.
I know she won't, but she still let me know, and I still love her. It's all good, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna shock the world and pick Nebraska. And,
You're almost as bad as the guy who picked the Lions to parlay this last week.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Why would you ever do that?
Listen.
Why?
Did he not hedge it?
No. It was a free bet.
No.
It was a free bet. He just threw $25 free bet on that, and he couldn't cash out early. He didn't hedge it.
Man, if you pick Green Bay, you get 300-some thousand.
Yeah.
Why would you trust the Lions?
The same way you trust Nebraska to go in on Saturday.
That's true.
And steal one. Like,
but those are pros. These are college kids. Anything can happen.
I saw something worse though. Was some guy did a 14-team like college NFL parlay from the past weekend, and all he needed, it was like $2,000. He put $2,000 on this to win 300 and something thousand. He needed the Lions to lose by 10 points or less. He had Lions plus 10.5. And they were winning at halftime, and they had him as a cash out option was like 240,000, and he didn't cash out.
Oh, you cash out at halftime?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. It's the Lions. You
the
cash
Lions,
out no matter.
like,
Yes, absolutely.
Take what you can get and just go.
$240,000. That's a mortgage. Like
take what you get. Take what you can get.
That's what we did on the game show.
That's the mindset is take what you can get and then talk about the what ifs. But don't fumble the bag. Don't be Dennis Schroeder. It's safe to say that
he was very upset that the Lions gave up.
The thing is, Jamie Foxx offered double our money on the game show, and we were like, no, if we don't let us take what we can take right now, me and Vinny, we out of here.
See, there was a wave of something called Tebowing, but we're starting to see a wave of Schroedering right about now.
Yes,
this is Schroedering. That's all we're seeing.
Oof. Yeah. That's rough. That's
Schroeder,
rough.
Exactly. Schroeder fumbled the bag, man. That's all I got to say. But hey, we'll see what happens. My pick could be off, but if I lose this pick, I made it for last week by picking Michigan to beat Miami. I made up for it. So this is a free bet for me. So, all right, guys. Well,
these Pick Tens, these standings are either going to go up.
They're gonna get messed up this week.
Yeah,
I might be in last place on Monday.
If you're not, you're going to be Baby Yoda next week.
I'll be up 32-8.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, once again, this is you're tuning into a podcast divided. These picks, we had to air this pick 10 again. Saturday, so remind everybody. So we'll see what happens. But welcome back again. We'll see how Michigan and Michigan State do this weekend, and see how our picks do.
Let's hope Don is wrong.
Yeah. I hope for y'all's sake. I hope I'm wrong.
Heck did you pick Nebraska?
He could be Baby Yoda.
I have a feeling. I just have a feeling that I just have a feeling that just water's gonna level out. So, but once again, this is our house. You're welcome anytime. We will see you next week, where I'll either have egg on my face or I'll be like I told you so. So all I gotta say is go blue.
Go green.
Go everybody.
Mr.
That's a perfect tie-in.
Mr. Political. See y'all. Y'all be easy.